2 weeks ago, I took my Galaxy Watch off and have been wearing the Active 2 in its place. The Galaxy Watch is a great smartwatch, but left a lot to be desired when it came to the fitness side of things. This is Samsung's second attempt at pleasing the more fitness and health-focused market with its Active line. So, how did they do? What's improved over the Galaxy Watch? Let's get into it. I've been using the 40mm Bluetooth version of the Active 2 in gold. It comes with this leather strap, which was too big for me, so I had to swap it out for the one that came with my Galaxy Watch. If you have small wrists, be sure to try out the band in stores. If you've used a Samsung smartwatch before, the experience is very familiar. Your customizable widgets are available on the right, notifications will show up on the left, and quick settings can be accessed with a downward swipe from the top. The button on the top here is your back button, and the one on the bottom launches your app screen. I'm also really digging this list view instead of the circle-based one. The rotating bezel is back in software form. There's haptic feedback, and once you get used to finger placement, it works really well. It's just not as intuitive and fun to use as a physical bezel though. One of the biggest reasons I didn't like the original Active was the lack of a speaker. The Active 2 now has one, so you can answer and make calls directly on the watch without ever having to touch your phone. I take calls on my wrist all the time, and it's one of the main reasons why I even wear a smartwatch. The mics are pretty good too, and everyone on the other line has said I sounded great. An area where the Active 2 stood out right away was staying connected to my phone. My 42mm Galaxy Watch would always disconnect if I left it in my bedroom and went to the kitchen. The Active 2 stays connected the whole time. Kudos for that. I keep my watch at a screen brightness of 6, but it automatically maxes out brightness in brighter environments for better viewing. Meaning, if you use your watch a lot outdoors, you'll likely experience worse battery life. With heart rate measurement set to continuous and enabling the always-on display, I was getting just over a day of battery life. Dropping the heart rate measurement to every 10 minutes helped me get about a day and a half. Turn the always-on display off on top of that, and I was getting just under 2 days. Basically, if you want to use the watch to its full potential, expect a single day of battery. Charging up takes about an hour and 50 minutes using the supplied charger. I also really appreciated the convenience of wireless power share during my recent trips. It was one less cable to worry about when packing. What you should worry about is your online security. Today's video sponsor Surfshark wants to make sure your sensitive data is secure at all times. Public Wi-Fi is a hacker's playground for stealing personal information like banking credentials and passwords. Using a VPN encrypts the internet traffic sent to and from your device, making sure nobody can see what you do online. Surfshark will also block ads, trackers, malware, and phishing attempts. On top of that, you'll gain access to geo-restricted entertainment libraries like Netflix from 14 different countries. Since you can connect unlimited devices to one account, everyone in the family can stay secure. Try Surfshark now by clicking the link below and using the promo code TAO. You'll get 83% off and 1 month free. Like most of you, I was eager to see how well the Active 2 performed as an activity tracker. One of the cool features of Galaxy Watches is its ability to automatically detect and track workouts. I found it the most useful for walks and runs. Just get moving and it'll kick in on its own. Simple and easy for those who don't want to even think about logging their activity. For those of you who want more control, you can manually start a much larger selection of workouts. The watch will count reps for you, and it definitely works better thanks to the improved accelerometer. It can feel tedious selecting each exercise individually one after another, but for someone new to training, this might be very helpful and motivating. I personally prefer an app called Gym Run for tracking my workouts. Samsung added this new setting to keep the workout screen on at all times while you're training. Thank goodness. In the past, the display would time out and default back to the watch face, which got really annoying for those trying to keep an eye on their heart rate and progress. The heart rate sensor itself is hands down better, as expected with the 4 extra sensors. During workouts, it's so much more reliable and doesn't drop out or jump around like my Galaxy Watch did so often. Samsung has actually done a pretty good job updating the step accuracy of the Galaxy Watch since its release. I'd say the Active 2 is on par with it. The pedometer on both takes about 10 steps or so before it kicks in and starts counting. That may seem weird, but I'm sure they do it on purpose to prevent false steps from being tracked due to everyday arm movement. For dedicated or longer walks, it's been flawless. If you're a runner who really wants to keep track and fine-tune their training, be sure to turn on high accuracy location in the outdoor run settings. It made a noticeable difference with mapping accuracy on the runs I went on. I take exactly 3 floors every single day at the gym I go to, and it logs that consistently. It doesn't log the stairs I take at home, likely because it's not detecting a large enough elevation change. Sleep tracking was a little hit or miss for me. Although it did a fairly good job at logging my sleep, there were several occasions where the watch thought I was sleeping even though I was at the movie theater or just chilling on the couch. I've never found the calories burned counted on the Galaxy Watch to be accurate, and the Active 2 doesn't seem to be much better. All this information gets synced to Samsung Health. It's a simple, clean app that lets you customize what you want to see at a glance. They could make detailed information and stats easier to get to, but I'd argue for most people, the stuff displayed up front is more than good enough. Maybe fitness and activity tracking isn't your thing. So, how does the Active 2 function as a smartwatch? Besides being able to take calls on the watch, in the Galaxy Wearables app, you can customize which notifications get pushed to the watch. When you do receive one, the watch will vibrate or make a sound, and lifting your wrist will automatically display it. If you can't check it at that very moment, you'll have this indicator show up to remind you later. A Samsung smartwatch will obviously work best when paired with a Samsung smartphone. The main benefit is that you get a dedicated email and messages app on the watch, allowing you to view a history and initiate a message in both. Watch apps like reminders and voice memos will also sync to your Samsung smartphone. When paired with a non-Samsung smartphone, you'll still receive and be able to respond to messages and email notifications. You just can't access the history since there isn't a dedicated app. Is that a big deal? Not really, since the watch is meant for quick responses while you're on the go. For longer emails or messages, you'll likely want to pull out your phone anyways. Things like call history and calendar events will sync to the watch regardless of what phone you use. A neat workaround for those of you not using a Samsung smartphone who still want to initiate a message right from the watch is to do it through the Contacts app. I add my favorite contacts to a widget and send messages from there all the time. Responding to messages can be done using speech to text, handwriting, T9 keyboard, or customizable quick messages, which is what I do 90% of the time. One of the biggest knocks on Samsung smartwatches is the lack of third-party apps. And while I wouldn't mind having more options, I don't really see myself needing or using them very often. When it comes to music, both Spotify and Tidal have apps for the watch. If you're paying for a premium membership, you can download music right onto the 4 GB of storage on the watch. Pair up some Bluetooth headphones and listen to your favorite jams at the gym without carrying your phone or being connected to Wi-Fi. Very handy, just wish Samsung would increase the storage a bit. In terms of navigation, there are a few options available, but I've settled in on Navigation Pro. It is a paid app though. Start a Google Maps navigation on your phone and it'll automatically launch on the watch, providing you with turn-by-turn directions, plus notifying you of upcoming turns with vibrations. You can even turn your phone screen off and just use the watch for directions to conserve battery on your phone. The experience with the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is very similar to the Galaxy Watch. The improved hardware for fitness tracking is a big step forward, and I'm glad Samsung is taking that more seriously. We've got some new watch faces, cute animations thrown in here and there, but that's all software and should make its way to the older watches eventually. It's not like there's a shortage of watch faces on the Galaxy App Store anyways. If you're coming from the Watch Active 1, yes, it's totally worth the upgrade. If you're coming from a Galaxy Watch, love that physical bezel, and aren't that interested in the improved fitness tracking, I'd probably hold off to see if they do a Galaxy Watch 2. If this is your first Galaxy Watch, I'd recommend the Active 2. It's got potential to make a difference, especially if they end up launching the ECG and fall detection features. The Galaxy Watch Active 2 is easily Samsung's most complete smartwatch to date.